Hey guys, this is DFD, aka Dark Frozen Depths. I'm doing a little bit of a discussion thing because there's some stuff I wanted to talk about. It's like a few random things, really. But, anyways, like in the background, you're seeing me just grinding stuff out. But when it comes to, a few things that's coming up later down the line, first thing I've got to mention is I am indeed getting a new laptop, so whenever that happens, I have no clue how the sound quality is going to be for that mic. But the fact that it should have a working Bluetooth means I should be able to use my actual headphones, which needs Bluetooth. That said, I should have a better mic either way, so you're not going to hear this. Well, you might still hear wind blowing in the background or something because fan is on. It's summer. It's hot. But yeah, there's that. And then there's the fact that again, new laptop, so I'll be able to start playing Elsword again. I'm trying to do that because, they buffed the crap out of Metamorphy. And objectively, they did buff both Oz and Aether Sage. It's just people want to say, oh, nerf. But, no, they did get nerfed in some slots, but they didn't get nerfed overall. The more I'm learning about them, especially from experienced Oz players, because I'm not that big of an Oz player, apparently they did get buffed. So, it's an overall buff, guys. That's something to know. Um, Another thing is the simple fact that when it comes to content on Komei Hime Project, naturally I'm going to do challenges occasionally, like the one I just got. That was the Unleash challenge where I used nothing but the Unleash characters, Arthur, and ran with that team. It's not bad, really. Why do I keep missing that? But my main focus on that is to pretty much be able to say dish out as much damage as possible on a weaker team, which in turn should help me out a crap ton, really. Now, I am indeed grinding some stuff out too. The Light Ragnarok is a bitch. Like that is one hell of a difficult fight. You will indeed be taking a fuck ton of damage. I cannot sugarcoat that. So you have to be exceedingly careful with when it comes to that. But there's also the fact that I do still get some cabas from some of the Ragnarok fights. I have absolutely no intentions of taking on the wind, the water, and the thunder ones just yet. I am indeed spamming the crap out of the fire one and the light one whenever I see them pop up. I have no intention of starting the light one until I start getting the hang of fighting it. I have started a fire one quite a few times. So there's that. So you may see me actually in these raids. And also I may end up going through different stuff for when I do more guides for this game too, because there's more info I'm learning too. Here's one thing that people tend to overlook, and I've even overlooked it myself because a union member just brought it up, but they said that they're actually having more trouble dishing out overall damage increases. Like say their overall damage is actually lower using Shingen's soul weapon, the lance, compared to Herk's soul weapon, the axe. And it is a very interesting point because Herk can if you can get the combo rates and whatnot. Oh, I can still send Infernal Quest, that's good. But Herk can actually pull off Herk can pull off a 25% defense break should you get her soul weapon all the way up. And then even still, Herk does more overall damage than Shingen with her abilities. Because Herk is self-buffing the crap out of herself, and she has a damage nuke that's based on it. Shingen is pretty much just doing the one move for extra burst gauge, and then buffing the entire team, sure, but it's just combo rate. and Provisional Force. So when you look at it that way, the only real reason to try and get Shingen is for her bow, which everybody neglects. Otherwise, you're having the same level of strength of Provisional Force, but kind of neutering yourself because the lance only increases, like, it only gives a real increase to the burst gauge, when Herk does it well enough. I mean, if you have Herk's weapon, her axe, then she's giving enough burst gauge to herself for you to use Provisional Force. There's not too much to really go towards that. You're better off taking Herk over Shingen if you're going to think about the Shingen lance. So, honestly, from what I can tell, there's not too much reason to use Shingen over Herk unless you're getting Shingen's bow, which ironically happens to be the HP weapon. But because of the simple fact that it makes Provisional Force get actually 2.5 times stronger, that's why you get the bow. But I don't know, that's just me. But that is something that most people tend to overlook. It's like overall Provisional Force is better on Herk unless you get the Shingen bow. So you're kind of like neutering yourself a little bit. But there's definitely some more things I'm going to try to look into. That's one of them, and that's why I'm mentioning this, because I'm probably going to do videos about it too. Plus, there's still some videos I haven't really done anything too much on. Like the accessory video, I haven't really gone into any depth with it, so that's something I want to do. Because, quite frankly, we do need to have a little bit more emphasis on the accessory EXP so we don't go wasting needless materials. And then add on the simple fact that there's still a hell of a lot of stuff to go through. Like, a lot of it. We're going to be getting another accessory quest rank soon at some point. It should be rank 6. They have rank 7. And I've been asked a few times, okay, is there a point to going to rank 4 over rank 5 or vice versa? There is, in fact, because you do want the ancient accessories if possible, because they indeed have better effects than the standard ones. So that's something to know. But other than that, there isn't too much more I can really say compared to that. But when we get rank 6, it's going to be the most valued grind spot for all that. And then add on the simple fact that rank 7 is still going to be even higher, because it's going to come out with the devil ones too. Now, drawback on the devil set is the fact that it'll give you enthusiasm, which is going to like if you have enough devil pieces to make the devil set, you'll have enthusiasm, which will give you it'll give you 10 burst gauge per round, but you're taking 666 damage each round, and that's for 10 rounds. So essentially, you're going to have 2 full burst gauges within those 10 rounds, because you're going to at least get a single hit each time and get 10 after the fact. So you'll literally be able to pull off 2 full bursts just about in 10 rounds. But especially you hit the combo rate increases too, then you're really going to abuse the crap out of that. But on the other hand, you're taking over 6,000 damage, almost 7,000, so you absolutely will need a healer to use something like that. So that is something that can be very, very dangerous. But with the Tiara set effects and even Komei and such that can buff, say, triple rate, then you're getting 40 burst gauge a turn on average if you can get your triple rates really up there. So that's something to know. But like I said, there's that. I'm going to go over more accessory stuff I plan for the next one as well. Definitely more challenges on the Komei things, like I said, because some fights are pretty interesting when it comes to the challenge, but at the same time, it's still more just bragging rights. Because as long as you can clear the content, who really truly gives a crap? I mean, it is interesting to look at. I have seen some stuff that people have pulled off, like they use the tier 4 souls in order to solo the freaking ultimate catastrophes. But all in all, it's just, if you can do it, fine. but clearing the content's the main thing. And then I've been asked if how to do the process of re-rolling too. I need to break that down in another video as well. But I honestly haven't tried re-rolling myself due to how strong this team is. I just know how to do it. So I may end up having to make another account just to show how to do the re-rolling process. But yeah. And then on top of that too, speaking of accounts, there's a whole DMM thing. I have no intentions of going to DMM. None whatsoever. And that's because of the fact that if you go over there, you have a completely different profile. It's not like I can go log in on DMM and carry over my Komei work on Nutaku. If I could, that would have changed everything. Because they started at the same point as us on events for the English side. But the other downside too that people don't really pay too much attention to, Nutaku is uncensored, DMM is not. Even if you go to the English version of DMM. So that said, you're paying for, well, not paying for really, but you're playing on censored content should you go to DMM. If you're going to do that, you might as well just go to the Japanese side. That way, they're much further in the game, they have a lot more access to a lot of stuff, aside from events. But you're better off just doing that. That said, however, should the Nutaku side close down and the DMM side still running, then I'll possibly go to DMM, but I'm going to be doing it as a free player. I won't be throwing any money whatsoever, not even at the Miracle tickets, because I already invested so much on the Nutaku side. I have no intentions of doing anything on the DMM side then. That, and it is hard as hell to try and get something loaded up on DMM anyway. I've already ran into some issues trying to do it for Rebless's Way, which is the remake of Rebless. I honestly haven't played it in a while either. It's kind of lost my interest a little bit because it doesn't seem as active as the original, and then it's like getting grindy. But getting back on point, it's definitely getting harder to add stuff on DMM if you're not Japanese. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to find some way to do that if I do decide to add any more money to Rebless's Away. But all I really did was add like a few measly bucks in order to get the thing to get the login stuff. And it'll be the same case with Komei Project if I somehow end up on the DMM side. I have to figure out, okay, how do you add money to the game to do all this? They have some really roundabout, complicated method, and I've gotten kind of stuck on it. It does involve your card, but it doesn't really take anything off my card for some weird reason, so I'd have to figure that out. But, speaking of the card thing, if things go as planned, I will indeed be getting the new laptop in a few days. That means I'm cutting off any sort of payments on the Nutaku games until I get that laptop. So that's something to look forward to, guys. I am still indeed going to get a PlayStation 4 at some point, but I still have no clue when. When that happens, I'll let you know. But definitely need a new laptop because, like I said, a lot of people have mentioned the microphone thing. I'll find some way around it once I get a new laptop. Then on top of that too is the fact that what some people may not know, I have a right arrow key that does not work on this thing, so I'd have to do it off of the numlock or the numpad. And speaking of which, the number pad is also screwing up from time to time. It doesn't fully register all the time, so half the time I usually got to type crap out on my cell phone if I need to. And the funny thing is, that also includes the right arrow key on the number pad. It occasionally doesn't work sometimes. So that said, I might be out of a right arrow key entirely pretty soon on this laptop. It's been 5 years though, at least. This laptop has seen its run cycle. I'm amazed it even lasted that long, so there you go. No, I don't think it matters if I have the burst thing on. So that said, I'm definitely getting another one pretty soon. I don't care if it's a gaming one. I don't care if it's a laptop that has a touchscreen on there, which is how I'm doing this stuff right now because I'm using a touchscreen in order to activate abilities and such. But that's the whole thing with that. I'm sick of this crap because this is getting in the way of big time now. So I'm going to do something about it. But that said, expect a new laptop pretty soon. That's a definite. And also, I've started getting back into Epic 7 again because I started missing that game. And then what most people don't know is the fact that the reason why I even got into Epic 7 in the first place is because those of you that remember Sengoku Providence, which is how anything I've been doing on Nutaku started to pick up, Epic 7 plays a lot like Sengoku Providence, only much, much better. It's got the same battle mechanics and all of that. But, the only difference is the whole leader thing, because the leader is just an assistant that can come out and help. If they have some sort of memory imprint, then they're going to be able to beef up your team, but otherwise it's not going to matter. But Epic 7 is actually a very, very good game. It's grindy as hell, though, but it's still a very, very good game. And I've re-rolled on there because of the fact that for some reason they had some little complaint on the Korean side, so they sent everybody two tickets each of the 5-star artifacts and the 5-star heroes. So you will get 5-star characters and 5-star artifacts out the gate, guaranteed. And then if you can go through the re-rolling process, which gives you 30-10 draws, and you get to pick the most recent one, you can indeed end up with a team with 3 5-stars and a 4-star. And in my case, that did happen, just not that way. Because how it happened was I got a 4-star character, no 5-star character, but I got a 5-star artifact from the reroll gacha. And then I ended up keeping 2 characters that were pretty strong. If you've seen the video, that would be Bologna and Ken, and I managed to roll for Ren, because I wanted to make sure I had at least a better healer than Aether. And then I eventually got lucky and pulled Charlotte twice, so there was my 3rd 5-star. And then on top of that, I just recently pulled Angelica again, so I now have a better healer than Ren. Angelica is contender for one of the best healers in that game, so now I gotta level her up. But Ren can buff and heal while doing some decent debuffing too, because she can defense break as well. So it's a bit of a tough choice, but if I definitely need more healing, Angelica's coming in. But Epic 7 is a very good game. I do know quite a bit about it. I can't really do any guide videos on there, and other people cover that way better than I do. So don't expect any guide videos on it. Gameplay, yes. Gameplay, yes. In fact, I'm thinking about doing another gameplay video for it pretty soon. But Epic 7's a very good game, guys. Give it a shot if you haven't. I managed to get a few people to start playing it, and they're on my friend list too. But it definitely is a very good game. So there's that. As for March and Nocturne, I know I haven't done any videos on that for a long time. I haven't really found any content to really try to do videos on it for, because all the content in there is easy as hell. More so if you're a paying player. And hey, guess what? I managed to be so big of a paying player that I have the 2nd highest power rating on the server, and I really could overtake the highest. I really could. It's just that I chose not to. And I have learned a lot about that game too, so I do know ways where I can say manage to get more power rating. I may do a guide on that at some point though, because that's something that people do need to know to get into the game. But power rating is a little bit misleading on that one, because even though I have the 2nd highest power rating on the server, there's people with like 30,000 less power still beating my team in arena. It's just how it is. Now, if I had a character named Laura who came out, who was a very strong defensive-based character, then it would have been a different story. I probably would have been able to set up an unwinnable team, meaning you would never defeat me. But there's still the fact that I can pretty much smash anybody in the game. So if I'm up in the runnings for that, oh wow, I never got either one. But if I'm up in the runnings for that, then expect me to really kick your team's ass at some point, because there's no way you're getting around that. I hit way too hard for that. So that's something to know. And that's the other thing. It does have an arena mechanic, but I've given a suggestion on their Discord to try and change that, because the arena mechanic is it's really stupid if you want to be honest. Because first off, the arena rewards only equates to pretty much more EXP stones or more intimacy materials. It is not that hard to get intimacy items. I'm at a point where I can pretty much just feed intimacy items to any new character and still have a very decent supply. And then on top of that, EXP stones, you can get them way, way better from grinding that crap out, or from even events, because one event's handing them out like candy. And another can hand them out like candy if you grind for it too. Because they run 2 events side by side, but they last a month, and that's something I like about the game. It's a long period to get these event items. But first off, the honor points you get from arena aren't really worth it, because you don't get much to spend them on. Second thing is the fact that it's hard to get them unless you're like really, really high rank. Because first place will get like 6,000, second place gets 5,000, third place gets 4,600, then 4,200 for fourth, and it will it will taper off very, very quickly. If you are below 10th, you're not getting that much compared to the higher points. Not even includes the little first time rewards for getting ranks, because when you get to, I'd say, getting rewarded every 2 ranks, you start getting a hell of a lot of gems at that point. And you can get, I think, 1,900 gems just for hitting second and then hitting first. So, arena's quite flawed on that one too. And then, to go even further, I'm not making that joke from Dragon Ball, but even further into things, there's still the simple fact that how it works is where when you attack somebody, you get their rank should you win. And that's all fine and good until you realize that there's some little leapfrog mechanic, which I dubbed it, where say player X beats player Y and player Y beats player Z. X would take Y's rank, Y would take Z's rank, and Z would be put into X's rank, even though X never fought Z. Now you see the issue. Because this becomes so bad where even in a scenario where you can only fight like 2 people higher than you, I've still seen myself drop from rank 1 to rank 10. And others can see even more brutal drop, and that's really not fair. It's an unfair mechanic, to be quite honest. So, that said, I don't think it's a good way to actually do arena, so I suggest that they do something like Senshi's Revenge, where based on the power of the person you fight compared to yours, you actually get points. And it wouldn't even suggest anybody that's like lower power than you. Well, no, it does, but it's still not that much points compared to, say, somebody with higher power. Some people say it could be abusable, and I can see where you're going from, but the only real way to abuse it is if you kept adding more fights. But that does indeed get more and more expensive as you go along, because it's 10 gems to add another fight the first time, then it's 20, then it's 30, then it's 40, then it's 50, and you see where it's going with that. That's the mechanic for how you get any sort of refills in the game. It will make the next cost 10 gems more expensive, and it adds up very, very quickly. Considering that that's the only real worth of the gems anyways for refills, then there you go for that one. But at the same time, the way I think the current mechanics just doesn't really work that well for Arena or rankings in general. Because it's like that. It's so catered towards the first 3 places. Then it tapers off a bit for the next 10. And then from like 4th to 100, it's lumped together in some little weird way. And then below that, it's like an exponential curve. Only it's starting to get really abysmal by the time you start hitting 10th to like 11th to 100th, basically. Because that's just how it is. But anyways, that's my opinion on the rankings for that. But the game itself is still very good. It's just that half its stuff is limited, for lack of better words. But if you're throwing money at the game like I am, you can get the limited stuff pretty easily. They have guaranteed pools and all sorts of stuff too. The only exception is the summer equipment they have right now in that one gacha. It's not guaranteed outside of the one piece, and you may not even get one of the summer ones. You might get one of the original ones that's been in the game, which is considered a dud compared to the summer ones because they're weaker. But if you are playing that game, there definitely is a July package that's still up. You need to get those because the 2 more expensive ones will give you a full 7-star set, which is powerful as crap because it comes super powered up. The only thing that's prevented it from being full power is the reforges, because those are random, but they're all 7-star IDs. You might still get some dud ones like, say, a flat HP or a flat attack increase, but it's still an exceedingly strong set. People have jumped up 30,000 power ups just off of that. It's that strong. But, the game does feed a lot more stuff towards the paying players. So, free players will have a harder time with March and Nocturne. At first, it was way more better towards free players than paying ones, because paying players didn't really have too much to pay for. But now it's starting to taper off way towards the pay-to-win category. And I hate to say it, but you really do need to take advantage of it if you're a paying player. That's what makes it difficult, because it's a lot of stuff that makes it much more manageable. Like, for instance, they have a gacha where for every $60 you'll get a guaranteed 7-star character that just came out. And considering you need at least 2 extra duplicates of a character to really bring them to full power, somebody can sit up and just wail on that gacha and just get whatever they need. So you see where I'm going with that on that one. But even then, there's still the fact that you can get storyline girls pretty easily because there's rainbow shards and all that, so they do cater to free players a little bit on that one. But there's also the fact that events can feed you a crap ton of stuff. Rankings are just going to be inflated by the players with the more money thrown at the game, basically. And then there's no point in adding extra attacks in the world battle. There's none. Because logically, you're not really going to do too much more of it. Because with how they did the system, it's kind of flawed to the point where there literally is no point. At best, you'll probably break even. So, that's just how it is. But anyways, this video is going on long enough. That's just some stuff I wanted to discuss about multiple games. There definitely should be more Epic 7 coming up. There definitely should be more Komei project coming up, because you know that's my main game. Maybe a Marching video when I start learning a lot more about it, but I did get into a heated debate with a mod a while back over who's better between Tamamo and Dorothy, because of how their EX skills work. And quite frankly, I did find a flaw in, like, whoever gave him the info about how Tamamo's damage will work, that was flawed. I found that out because Tamamo gets buffed for the first 3 turns, and then after that, her self buffs are gone. And in that game, a lot of fights are very short, so it's not too much of a setback. But if you're truly trying to calculate her damage, you're supposed to get the buffs for the first 3 turns, have that factored in, and then factor in every additional turn after that for how long the fight lasts. So she's getting like a 36% attack increase for 3 turns. So you take her attack value of, say, 10,000. So now it's 13,600 for the first 3 turns, then it's the 10,000 after that, considering she's not getting any other boosts. That's how you're really supposed to factor in that. You don't average the attack power across all the turns, because it's going to come up a different number. But, anyways, I'm digressing again. There should be more March and Nocturne once I start learning more stuff about the game. Because I'm starting to pick up on some things, and others I'm still kind of questionable about, like the flat rate for crit, because it's estimated to be between 2 to 3% crit chance. But we don't know how much each crit value, how the crit stat increases on marching. So again, I'm finding things out as they come. Absolutely going to have more Komei Hime project videos. That's a definite. Going to have another Epic 7 video because I like showing off that game. That game is very fun. But recording off my phone is crap quality unless I'm using the microphone. So there's that. But if I do any gameplay recording where you're not hearing me speak, I have to have absolute silence, or you're going to hear it get picked up in the game. Because unfortunately it has to use my microphone in order to record sound. Now you see what I'm getting out for crap quality. But there's those. I'm still working on my game for RPG Maker. I'm not going to discuss too much on that. Just know I've come up with more designs and stuff. You should see a video on that pretty soon. But and I will re-upload the demo at some point. So there's that. But anyways, that's all for this video, guys. I'm going to get back into grinding because you see I'm pretty much just smashing this with my fire team. Believe it or not, my fire team can dish out more damage than my light team. I have to pause and let that sink in, because if anybody that's been watching me knows that my light team is dishing out quite a bit of damage. And my fire team can out-damage them? Yeah. But looking at their HP values, you see why I don't like using fire over light. Because light has almost double this HP value. It used to have double, but I got rid of some defenders. But yeah, that's the whole thing. Fire is beating out light damage-wise. And it's not just here, it's overall too on DMM side, because fire can actually out-damage light. In fact, there's 3 teams that can out-damage light. Lights is still overall better because of how much utility it has behind all its different Komei Hime. But yeah, more of this is going to come soon. More of the other ones I mentioned. There's definitely going to be a few more videos I do once I finally get my laptop redone. And also, there should be another video from this event that I've already posted. So check that out. And I'm not talking about the Ultimate Challenge. I'm talking about the R Dark Komei Hime Challenge. But other than that, expect more on the way. Needless to say. But if you've been here this whole 30 minutes, because some of my videos do get very long, if you've seen that before, then thanks for that. But I'm going to end this now, so that's all for now, guys. More of this is going to come soon, and take care.